This is our news, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight. The head of the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce proposes extending the exigency in place for Abaco and Grand Bahama to major businesses in the country with products and services that would support rebuilding those storm-ravaged islands. And the National Security Minister says law enforcement officers are becoming more receptive to the changes happening within those agencies.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Knowles, and thanks so much for joining us. Topping news tonight. As the Bahamas rebuilds those storm-ravaged islands, the focus must be on building a sustainable model that can be duplicated in other islands throughout the country. That coming from the Chamber of Commerce and Employees Confederation CEO, who says the Bahamas has been given a tremendous opportunity. Our Jillian Gray tells us more.
Bahamas Chamber of Commerce CEO Jeffrey Beckles said the recently issued exigency order that gives hurricane survivors and businesses the ability to import their replacement items duty-free is a great benefit that should be extended to every major supplier in the country.
The more money we spend on home in our economy, then the greater opportunity we have to mitigate that shortfall. In addition to that, when you start looking at the fact that we have to import cars, we have to import building materials, equipment, major supplies, a lot of businesses. In fact, there's an estimate of about 22 to 24,000 homes and businesses either severely impacted or totally destroyed. That is a significant amount of rebuilding. Now, if you were to put a number on that rebuilding, you're going to come up with several $1 billion worth of dollars to be spent on material and rebuilding costs. Well, just imagine then a percentage of that being able to be spent at your local hardware and lumber supply. Many homes have to now go out and replace furniture. But wouldn't it be great if we can incentivize our local furniture distributors with the same capacity to provide your home with all of its furniture and appliances and the like?
In the wake of the deadly storm, the government implemented a 90-day exigency order that made the import of medical supplies, building materials, household furniture, appliances, generators, and other items going into the affected islands tax-free. Beckles said if the order is expanded, it'll force people to spend locally and ultimately will boost the economy. He added that the Bahamas has been presented with a tremendous opportunity for growth, stating the government and the people of the Bahamas must take advantage of the wealth of knowledge that NGOs on the grounds have.
These organizations have come to the Bahamas with tremendous experience, tremendous exposure. Well, there's an opportunity now to train Bahamians. New careers, new opportunities, new abilities to make a living and sustain ourselves. These are some of the areas that the Chamber of Commerce is actively participating in to ensure that, again, as we take a look and delve into the larger rebuilding plan for Abaco and Eastern Grand Bahama, that we're getting the template right, because at the end of the day, what is our objective? Our objective is to be able to foster economic growth, but not just to foster it, but to sustain it.
Beckles said with proper planning, the Bahamas can use a rebuilt Abaco and Eastern Grand Bahama as a model for all other islands.
Keep in mind that whatever we wind up with a finished product in Abaco and Eastern Grand Bahama has to be replicated at least 10 other times. Because we will have to do the same thing in Nassau, Andros, Bimini, Long Island, Eleuthera, Exuma, and the list goes on. We can't just stop at rebuilding a stronger Abaco and Eastern Grand Bahama and stop there, because the vulnerabilities remain for our other islands.
Beckles added that the Bahamas can also be a model for the region, which is also looking for ways to build resiliency. Reporting for Our News Weekend, I'm Jillian Gray.
Minister of National Security Marvin Dames says officers are starting to get on board with this transition taking place in both the defense and police forces. Dames says a conclave held earlier this year dealt specifically with helping officers understand what could be next for them in their careers.
It's such a scary thing in this country when we begin to have these kind of discussions, right? About how do we prepare our agencies for the future. Earlier this year, we had a conclave, the Ministry of National Security. And one of the things that we started to work on, especially with our senior leaders, is life after the Royal Bahamas Police Force, life after the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. All of these agencies are in transition. You come in, you serve a time, you prepare those under you, and you prepare yourself to move on.
Dames's comments come as Defense Force Commodore Tellis Bethel has been placed on 3 months leave. Dames told reporters earlier this week last week that he doesn't know what the future will hold for Bethel. The National Security Minister also insisted that officers are getting on board with the changes.
I believe wholeheartedly that all of these men and women are beginning to understand that that's how it works. You know, whether it works that way in this situation, well, only time will tell. But as I said before, the Commandant and I continue to communicate. He's currently on leave, and the Prime Minister would have made that explicitly clear.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis told reporters on Monday that the decision to send Bethel on a 3-month vacation was made to save taxpayers money. The Nassau Guardian understands that Bethel has accumulated vacation of just under 1 year. A man is in hospital following a shooting here in the capital last night. The man was standing in the area of a business establishment on Providence Avenue in Chippenham around 11 p.m. Saturday. That's when he was reportedly approached by a gunman who shot him. The man was taken to hospital in a private vehicle where at last report he was listed in serious but stable condition. And over on Andros, police there are investigating a stabbing incident from last night. 2 men got into an altercation shortly before 11 p.m. in Fresh Creek. The incident resulted in one of the men attacking the other, stabbing him about the body with a sharp object. Now, the injured man was taken to the Fresh Creek Clinic and later brought here to the capital on an emergency flight to seek further medical attention. Investigations continue. The Bahamas Dental Association putting on a free clinic for displaced Hurricane Dorian victims.
It was a little scary, and I kind of like it.
9-year-old Falia Lucas was mostly smiles after having her teeth cleaned. It was smooth sailing except for one little mishap.
When it was watering, the water spread all over my face.
You see, Falia is from Abaco, and as we all know, many residents of that island and Grand Bahama have had their lives severely disrupted by Hurricane Dorian. This disruption means that parts of their lives are unfortunately neglected, such as dental hygiene. President of the Bahamas Dental Association, Dr. Emmanuel Francis, says the organization he leads is seeking to change that.
It's important because we want to sensitize not only the Bahamian public, but the government and our dental colleagues who have failed to show up, that they need to step up to the plate and help us meet the all health needs of these people. And so Hurricane Dorian is just the impetus behind this thrust that we could get the ball rolling. And hopefully we can, from here, spread throughout the archipelago.
The Children's Chapel at the Church of God of Prophecy East Street Tabernacle was transformed into a dentist's office with dozens of Bahamian and non-Bahamian dentists donating their time and expertise. Treasurer of the association, Dr. Joy Pitstock, says the makeshift dentist office featured the full range of works.
We're doing dental health education, we are doing dental cleanings, we're doing extractions, we're doing fillings. So all of the basic dental needs that need to be filled are here, and it's free to the public.
The free clinic prioritizes persons under the age of 21, individuals who have been evacuated, and displaced persons living in shelters. Monday is the last day for the clinic, with dentists seeing patients between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Senior pastor at the Church of God of Prophecy East Street, Bishop Hewlin Hanna, explains why the church assisted.
It's critically important. Initially, the thrust was those persons who suffered from the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian and in the shelters. The decision was taken to create this kind of service for those individuals. When the organizers approached us as a church, we realized that the gospel has many, many constituent parts. As a result of that, we jumped in And as they say, the rest is history.
Belia is grateful for the dental work and definitely has learned the importance of keeping her teeth clean.
So it could be shiny and you won't have cavities. And when you get older, your teeth won't look bad and it won't keep falling out.
The 9-year-old promises that she will take care of her teeth, and she told us how.
Brush my teeth 2 days. I mean, in like 2 days. Like, brush your teeth in the morning and in the night.
I think she's got it. Well, still ahead tonight, one of the founders of a popular foundation responds to critics following the split between the group's co-founders. That story and more when our news, the Weekend Edition, returns.